Hi, I'm Steve Frazier with Orgonites by Steve. And in this video, we're going to talk about Darkfield Microscopy. And Darkfield Microscopy is the ability to look at objects in a microscope and see them with no background. It's a different process than using a regular microscope. And really the most unique aspect is that you can see blood move. So what we did is we found a chiropractor in Plover, Wisconsin, and he does not only darkfield microscopy, but he also does acupuncture, which again, that is going to be a different video when we talk about the AcuGraphs. But I found him and I wanted to see what kind of effect that Orgonites have on EMFs. And I have an EMF meter, and I'm going to do a whole video on my EMF meter. I'm going to show you all kinds of different things. So I'm not going to have that out on this one. But so originally what we did is we went there the first time and I got mine done. So I sat in this parking lot and I had my EMF meter, and it was almost completely no activity. I had my cell phone off, all of our electronics were off, and we tested it, hardly any EMFs. And then I walked right into his office and he picked my finger and put my blood on slides, and we took pictures of it. And I have that posted in a blogs on our website, but I want to show you this, and I'm just going to kind of zoom in front of my face for just a second, because if you look at this, you can see that my blood looks pretty good. Lot of perfectly round red blood cells. And my white blood cells were extremely active. And if you want to see something really neat, have this done, because you're looking at your blood and it's moving. And he said it stays generally alive on the cells for about an hour. And so as we perused this, we found different things. We could find little pieces of dirt in your blood and some other things, a whole bunch of different things. Obviously, he's trained to do this. So after that test, we then went out into his waiting room, and he's got a really powerful router in his waiting room. And we also had an active laptop and an active cell phone with a hotspot on, because we wanted to produce a lot of EMFs. And we have all the readings. They were really high. And then also in that second test, what we did is we took a pyramid, this size right here, it's a double X, and then also 2 roses. These are right here. Okay, this is what we chose, and we use this in every experiment. And what we did then is we sat out in the waiting room for 20 minutes with all the EMFs and those things right next to us, the pyramid and the 2 roses. And then I went in and I had my blood taken again. And here's the result. Now, I know that you can't see a lot of detail here, but if you look at it, there is some degradation. And I'll leave this up for a minute. You can always freeze this or pause it and take a look at it. And also, again, these are posted in blogs. But as you can see, that I still have a lot of round ones, and there's not a lot of degradation. It is subjective. So you and I may look at this and say, wow, they look really bad, or I might say, wow, they look really good. But the bottom line is that there is some degradation, but not a whole lot. And so what it did is it had some effect. So then we came out into the waiting room, and we took the Orgonites out into the car, and we sat for 20 minutes in the waiting room with just the EMFs. And again, the cell phone, the laptop, and the router. And so then we came in, I went back in and had my blood taken. And now you can see on this one, there's a lot more degradation. In fact, almost everyone has some kind of degradation. And also, you can't see this because this is a still picture, but ultimately, most of the white blood cells were not moving. They were not active. And your white blood cells are what affect your immune system. I'm going to reach out here. I'm going to tell you what I think. If you are sitting next to a router for 8 hours a day, your white blood cells are compromised, which means that your immune system is compromised. Or if you're doing this at home, or if you're getting hit by 5G 24 hours a day, you're going to get sick because your body can't repair itself. What kind of things you're going to get, who knows, okay? But if you're not getting repaired, if your body's not healing itself, if you're immune compromised, you ultimately are going to get sick and or be sick all the time. So that's why we believe that having the pieces on you where you travel all over is a great idea. And also in your rooms where you live, especially in your bedroom where you sleep, 6 to 8, 9 hours. And also probably in your kitchen where you spend a lot of time. I have a Russian pyramid and an extra large pyramid in my kitchen. My router is in my kitchen. It's not the best place that it can be, but I do believe that I'm protected by it. A little bit I'm going to get, but again, and when I show you some of the EMFs, when I use my meter, I'll show you this. I'm going to show you, I did an experiment. I actually saw this on YouTube, and you can make your own conclusions. But if you look at these two glass jars, you're going to see that the one on the right, on your right, that is a glass of water with blue food dye in it, and it is in the freezer, and all I did was freeze it. And then the one on the right, on your left, excuse me, is another jar, a different jar of blue food dye, and underneath it I had a rose, and now realize if you look at this, I'm trying to get the glare off of this. There we go. Okay, you can see that the molecules actually froze in a vortex. Okay, now there's other, you can see this on YouTube, and I didn't put this on YouTube yet, but the bottom line is that the orgonite actually affects the molecules in the water. And so I can't tell you why. I kind of can, because the piezoelectricity messes, it creates the vortex in the pyramid and the rose and affects the water. So this one is about Darkfield Microscopy, and it shows, we believe, conclusive evidence. Now, we did this 10 times with 10 different people. After my first test, the chiropractor looked at me, because I'm just going to be completely honest with you here. The first time I went there, I think he probably thought I was a quack. But I'm going to give him $100, and he's going to do this for me. When he was done and he saw that I actually had an effect on the red blood cells, he said, Steve, this is pretty subjective, so why don't you try something else? I have something called an AcuGraph. It's an industry standard test of acupuncturists, and what it does is it shows the health of your body. And so we did this again. So I went back and I actually had it done again with blood and then with the AcuGraph, so I had the same controls. And so you're going to see as we go on, all this stuff's going to get posted on the website. But this is the first video about the Darkfield Microscopy, and we're going to do another one about AcuGraphs later on. Okay, I will see you later. Thanks.